So there's this book that I read called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. One of the things that he talks about in his book is there are 6 basic fears that we face in life. And all other fears come from those 6. Hey, it's the day of. They are the loss of companionship, death, poverty, criticism, illness, and aging. When you have a dream, these are the enemies to those dreams that you want to accomplish in your life. Because of these fears and all other fears attached to them, we have indecision and doubt. Now, there are many fears you face in traveling, especially when you're traveling on a budget. And one of the first fears that I had to face was the fear of being unwanted and unloved. And that was actually my greatest fear. That's the reason why I hesitated for so long, because I was afraid that I wouldn't be accepted if I broke expectations. But there was this one day, we had been working with Terry for about a month, and he loved my work. We worked at a clothing store, and I managed one of his clothing stores.
I've been given the responsibility to set up a women's clothing store. I wish you could see the before and after. Actually, no, we do have before, and we will have an after. But this is the after. This is the after.
He wanted me to stay for another month. And I love service, and just being in New Zealand was enough for me. Being in New Zealand, helping him with managing these clothing stores was awesome. It's like, yes, I'll do that. Kyle, on the other hand, he's like, no, I really want to see New Zealand. I don't have a lot of time here. So he decided to go off for a month, and then we'll visit up and then travel around together for the last bit.
The center of New Zealand.
Terry provided an apartment for me, and at one point I had to switch apartments, and the one apartment that I was in, I couldn't be there anymore, and the other apartment wasn't ready yet, and the store was being managed by an employee that I had at the time, so I didn't need to be there. In fact, the employee preferred I didn't be there because I made her nervous. She was like this 60-year-old woman, and she wasn't afraid to give her point of view. So I spent that day at a coffee shop until 5 o'clock when everything closes outside the US. And this coffee owner kicked me out rather rudely. I was like, he was mean. He's like, dude, we're closing. And he like takes the table and almost like throws my computer off. You know, it's like, whoa! I felt at that point, I had no place to be and no one wanted me around. I had never felt so unwanted and unloved. I spent the next hour walking a beach, trying to just be in the moment, but I couldn't break that feeling that no one cared I was here. No one wanted me around. I was in tears. And when you reach that point, there's 2 things you can do. You can look at what happened to see what you can improve on, or you can just think about the things that prove that you are loved. At first I was trying to relive the moment, trying to understand what could I improve on, what was there that I could have done differently, but there wasn't. And so I had to come to terms to just accept the moment and try to remember times when I did feel loved, when I did feel wanted with my family and friends.
Don't die.
And that helped. It helped a lot. Terry finally came back. That night, he came back and said, hey, I need some help. We have a shipment coming in at the other store. I was like, sweet. We had an hour ride back to the other store, and I felt so grateful for Terry. And the conversation we had was wonderful. He really showed appreciation for me. Facing that fear really helped me to find joy in a simple thing as someone appreciating my company. And I found when you face a fear and you conquer it, there's always a burst of joy afterwards like that.